You can be aware of yourself. You can be aware of this electromagnetic conversation you're having all the time. I mean, the universe will do this. If you stress out about things, the universe will just give you a little bit more of that. Are you getting it yet? Are you stressing? Are you? Do you want a bit more? Have a bit more. Do you understand yet? It'll just keep doing it, and then you realize it's an emotional mirror. And this is why I say to people, I can see that this is a really positive time. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. I can see us getting through this. I can see all of the baggage falling away. All of those dumb people out there. I mean, a lot of them are really stupid. You just got to admit it. They just are. Some of them are complete stupid. They're just complete idiots. So this is all going to fall away. All this baggage is going to fall away. If you think of this as being a single consciousness, this is a type of soul purification that's happening here. All the baggage is falling away. We're going to be left with a real essence of purity at the end of this. And I see a really positive time at the end, and if you want that reality to happen, then you put yourself in the emotional state where the prayer has already been answered. We're already in that place. And that's the emotion that I'm in, and that's what I'm putting into the field. So that's what the field is bringing back to me. That's how it works. That's why they want everyone in fear of all this terrible stuff's coming. Now, I'll tell you about all the terrible stuff, and I'll tell you about all the lockdowns and all the things they're doing, because you need to be aware of that. So then it just washes off you like a wave. You won't be in fear of this coming. You say, oh yeah, Max said that was going to happen. I can just deal with it. I can just continue to be myself. I mean, I haven't changed at all through this whole lockdown. I haven't abided by any of the rules. I'm just going about my life. And it's just all washing off me like a wave. So that's the way to do it. You've got to put yourself in the correct emotional state and realize that your life itself is a prayer. Every moment of every day is ceremony. That's the reality. If you can put yourself in that, reality just changes around you. And that's just what happens. Just reality, just the oceans part and you're able to go through. It's just the way it is, If you're in the correct emotional state, it all just bounces off you. So to me, I see this as an incredibly positive time, an incredibly empowering time where people are actually being forced to step into their power. And those that don't, well, that's okay. That's the way it goes. That's the way we remove the baggage of consciousness. And it's okay. It's sad, but it's okay. It's the way it has to be, because ultimately there's only one of us here anyway. So you can't really hurt anybody. And the souls won't really be lost, because if one of us makes it through, then they all come with us and it's all good. And that's just part of the game, I've taken so much away from people, and you've virtually got this virtual you, which is more real than you in a lot of places. I mean, people's interaction is all online. They go shopping. It's all digital. It's all credit cards. Now you've got scanning into places and all of this sort of stuff. So, and what people have to understand is that world, that birth certificate, all of that stuff you're given is an instrument that you use to operate in the real world. I mean, the birth certificate, the name, the driver's license, the ID card, all of these sorts of things. Sure, I've got one of them and I can use that to operate in your world. It's an instrument that I use, but I'm not that instrument. It's like you are not your name. You are a living flesh and blood man. But all of this other stuff is what we identify with, and they're kind of moving us more and more into that. And it's becoming more and more obvious now. It's a way of taking away all of our spiritual connection, a way of taking away our connection to nature, our connection to anything real. It all becomes virtual, and that world becomes far more attractive to a lot of people because they're losing their life skills in the real world. So it's a lot easier to operate in that world. You can remake yourself, if you like, in that world. You don't ever actually have to be you. And the more you get into that world, the more of you lose. And then it gets to the point where people are scared of themselves. They're scared of actually being themselves. They're scared of actually presenting themselves as they are and being as they are. And that's really what this life experience is about. It's about experiencing yourself to the fullest of your potential and seeing what you can do with what you've been given. The physical aspects of it are basically taking over all the spiritual aspects and leading us into this virtual world, which is not real at all. So it's leading us out of the physical. It's really amazing the way they've done it. I mean, this loop they've kind of got us caught in, which is moving us completely away from anything it means to be human. It's getting to the point that we'll be lying in pods like in the Matrix, It's crazy. That's where they're leading us. And people will be quite happy with that. They'll be quite happy to be driving their virtual avatars and all of this stuff around because they've been programmed into that reality, And That's where they're taking us. It's transhumanism to the next level where they want to go. I can't see how their system can survive. I can't see how the virtual AI reality they want to create can survive. All this social crediting and all of this stuff, like this nightmare dystopia they're building. I honestly don't see how it can work because people are too creative. The spark of humanity is too strong. The spark of freedom is too strong. I mean, the amount of people we're seeing push back now all around the world, I don't think that the human spirit will be squashed. I think the parasites that are running this world have moved too quickly, and I don't think they're going to get away with it. I mean, maybe some will move into that, but it's almost going to get to the point where the whole system's just going to collapse and implode in on itself, I think. I don't think the human spirit will allow itself to be squashed in this way. This is the final nail. This is the final screw they want to put in, and I think at that moment the entire water barrel is just going to burst when that last nail goes in, and humanity is going to rise. I really think that's what's going to happen. I think most of the people are going to choose freedom. I really do. I think that's what we're seeing in the world now, and they are forcing people to wake up. They're forcing people to adopt a little bit of self-responsibility. Because it's got to the point, I mean, you know, everyone's going, well, things are terrible, someone should fix it, which is always the thing, you know, someone should fix it, not me, but someone should. Maybe I might have to take a little bit of responsibility for myself and actually get out there and say, hey, no, we're not going to do this. And that's what we're seeing.
The thing is, the world is changing. The world is changing. Everything's breaking down. The whole system is breaking down. They want it to break down into their great reset. They want to have the reset that they want to have. And their money system's breaking down, their government system's breaking down, it's all breaking down. And it's going to be how we play it, what we do about it. You know, and with everything that they're doing, they want us feeling negative, they want us feeling bad, they want us worried about everything. That's why I keep saying to you, no stake in the outcome. Don't stress about all this stuff, because everything they do is they're trying to put you into fear. They want to make you feel hopeless, but try to keep it empowering. No stake in the outcome. You've got to see what the game is, but then you've got to intend for it to go the way you want to do. You know, as I've often said to people, the true nature of prayer is to put yourself in the emotional state where the prayer has already been answered. Your whole life is a prayer. Because you're having this emotional conversation all the time. You're having this emotional conversation and the field is mirroring that back to you. If you're in a state of fear, if you're in a state of stress about income or stress about money or stress about anything, well, that's what you're putting into the field. And if you pray for something, if you pray for peace or you pray for love, what you're doing is you're carrying out a negative affirmation. You are confirming that there is no peace and there is no love. Now, if you want peace, you put yourself in the emotional state. What would you feel like if that peace was already in the world? What would you feel like if all of this stuff was breaking down around us and humanity was going to shine through and get to that golden place that we've always wanted to be? How would it feel like to be in that place? Put yourself in that emotional state and see that that's what all this is. That's what this whole breakdown of the system is. It can go the way they want it to if they can get enough people in fear to put that into the field and move us into that reality. But if enough people see this as a really positive thing and a really crucial time for humanity and a time of great opportunity where humanity actually gets to stand in their power, we can change the world. It's really that simple. A lot of people don't think it is. They'll say that's hippie, airy, fairy, new age, whatever. They don't understand. You don't understand how it works. Even the Christians don't understand how it works. I mean, they're waiting to be saved. They're waiting for Christ to come back and save them when he told them that they could do it themselves. And you look at Christ. He was an activist. He was an anarchist. And what happened to him? How did he die? He preached against the government. He was an anarchist and he spoke his doctrine and he spoke out against the system for his whole life, right up until he went into the temple and he overturned the tables of the money changers. When he did that, he was dead within a week. And when he went to trial, go read the trial in the Bible. He wouldn't play the name game. They're asking him who he was, and they're saying, well, who do you say I am? Saying, well, you say you're the Son of God, and he's saying, well, is that what you say? And fear is the worst possible emotion you can be in through all of this. I see this as a time of huge opportunity. I mean, you came here to exit this realm, I mean, this is just the exam that you're doing before you exit, just to see what you're made of. So, you know, what are you made of?